So here we are once again with the cycle once again repeating itself when it comes to Respawn Entertainment and the Titanfall franchise. How this originally started for this specific occurrence, because, you know, it's the same song and dance at this point. This started with apparently Titanfall 2 being compromised and just needing to uninstall the game because apparently, like, there's code execution which affects your PC locally if you boot up the game. But from the sound of it, it seems like it may have been proven to be false. I think not really. I'm not sure, just they're aware of a security vulnerability affecting Titanfall 2. They have no information until they did have an update stating it's a simple exploit that can be used to crash games, and there's nothing more serious to it. So they didn't say yes or no, just yeah, that's all they have to say on the matter, which, I mean, considering how Respawn has been towards Titanfall, I think that's better than nothing. Actually, I think that's about the same amount of support they've given the series up to this point since the launch of Titanfall 2. Like, I can't even be mad at this point when it comes to the handling of the series and Respawn's overall apathy towards it and just total focus on Apex Legends, which, nothing against that game or anyone who's into Apex, or Battle Royale for that matter. Personally, Battle Royale is not my thing, although I have had my fun with it, granted, but still, it's definitely not my favorite genre. But there's no denying that the success of Apex has led Titanfall to be basically completely neglected as an overall entity. And it's a real shame because Titanfall as a series really has the potential to be something truly popular, because it's already reached that level of greatness with Titanfall 2. Titanfall 1 was just setting the stage with the potential of the franchise and what could be done with it, and Titanfall 2, I feel, really fleshed that out a lot more. And a third game could take it even further, but who knows when that's coming, because, yeah, they have the green light to make Titanfall 3 whenever they want, but the question is, do they want to make it? Or is Apex making too much money? Is it basically Valve, where they could make these games that people want, but they don't because they just don't see the money in it? Or is it just expectations are too high and they just feel they can't meet them? Which, I mean, either way, so long as they just make a game that, you know, really builds upon the first two games in terms of what we had up to this point, I think that alone would really lead to a very positive reaction. If that's the case, I have no idea. I haven't talked to anyone from Respawn about this, and I don't think I'm ever going to, if we're keeping it completely real here. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll call up Vince Zampella, or maybe I'll like email him or something. You know, maybe he'll reciprocate. I don't know. Maybe there could be conversations at that point. I don't know. But as of now, I can't communicate to them directly about this aside from Twitter DMs, or just, you know, responding on Twitter posts. But yeah, that's as far as we're getting in terms of communication, I feel. You know, it really does beg the question, what is the point of Titanfall still being sold, either game still being sold, if you just can't properly play them without something like this happening constantly? Is Titanfall 1 still completely unplayable? I assume it is. I haven't checked it out in, well, I haven't checked out the game in years. I've only just looked at the news. In terms of playing it, I haven't checked it out, is what I mean. But last I looked at the news, the game just isn't even worth touching, and it's like, what's the point of even still selling these games if the consumers purchasing them can't even properly play them? Like, yeah, they're older games, but that doesn't excuse the fact that if you can't even touch them, there's no point in having to pay a price for them. Like, it's just a waste of money. Of course, unfortunately, no one at Respawn or obviously EA is gonna care, because why would they? If it doesn't make them any money, it's not a priority. That's just how it is. Although it's better than nothing to get some fucking message on Twitter. And who knows how long that'll take for them to deal with anyways, because don't they have a skeleton crew of like 2 people working on Titanfall right now? Like the overall series? Like, what, is it gonna take like a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, even longer for something to get done with this problem? And when something like this happens again, because, I mean, why wouldn't something like this happen again? When something like that does happen again, how much worse is it gonna be that time? And how much of a problem is it gonna be for the developers to actually getting around to dealing with? And will they actually come through with proper communication about it? It's just sad, you know? I can't even be mad. I'm just disappointed. It's just, really, at this point, I hate to say it, but I just feel like it is what it is, unless something is done, which, I mean, the possibility is always there in terms of fixing games and releasing new Titanfall entries in the series. It's always there, but the question is when, you know? When is the time for any of this to be done with? When is the time for things to just get better in terms of the handling of the series? Because it's been fucked over so many times now. It just feels like Titanfall is cursed, and EA and Respawn just refuse to give it the proper cure that it needs. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say, just hoping for the best, as much as that may feel too optimistic, but I think that there is something good to be found with most things, regardless of a bad situation, and that good thing is Titanfall in this instance. And man, a third game with the proper marketing and the proper anti-cheat and protection systems, and in general just being the big success that it needs to be and being a great game to play, man, third time's the charm. And if they could one day do that right with a third game, shit, I would be 100% down. I mean, I'd be down for Titanfall 3 either way, but you know, I think that everyone just wants Titanfall the series to truly get the recognition it deserves on launch. Because yes, Titanfall 2 in particular does get plenty of love and praise from the gaming community, but it wasn't instant, and when it did, it wasn't a lot. Sure, there was rave reviews and all that, but the sales of the game just went to show that unfortunately it wasn't getting as much love as it should have gotten. And Titanfall 1 got plenty of hype pre-release, but it died out so quickly that no one really remembers. So a third game correcting the errors of the previous two, and, you know, having a place within gaming as much as Apex is Respawn's only focus when it comes to any form of multiplayer games, because their other baby just isn't doing it, which they do have the option of doing, but you know what, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, because shit, you never know. I think the best thing to do is just, you know, keep your expectations low but still hope for the best nonetheless. Because at least that's what I'm doing, you know. I'm still gonna keep my head up. You know, that's something that's always got me by, so I will also apply that to Titanfall as a game series. So I'm just keeping my head up about the franchise in terms of potential one day. I mean, Half-Life Alyx happened, didn't it? Granted, it's not Half-Life 3, but it's a brand new Half-Life game that received tons of praise, and I still want to get around to finally playing it. I just need to get a VR headset first. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I know I always joke around about Titanfall on the channel with the whole Titanfall 3 gag and all that, but I just wanted to talk about it for a serious video for once, as opposed to, you know, a serious video. So yeah, there you go. Before the camera on my DSLR dies out, I just want to say this real quickly. What are your thoughts on this topic? Do you agree, disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, as well as make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and social media shit and all that is in the links in the description below. That's all I had to say, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, I'm out. Later.